In this video, we are going to make this. It is an angled stand for the Maschine MK3 and the Maschine Jam with a sexy black leather wrist pad right here. Now, theoretically, you could follow the steps in this video and make one of these angled stands for any piece of gear, whether it's an MPC Live 2, the Akai Force, or any other piece of gear that you want to have at an angle with one of these fancy leather pads for your wrist right there. Now, if you're new to this channel, you may notice that the majority of videos here are MPC tutorials. However, a couple of weeks ago, I was selling some gear online. Someone asked if I wanted to trade for a Maschine MK3 and a Maschine Jam, and I thought, why not? But the problem is when you get a new piece of gear, it's really sexy, you gotta dress it up. And I looked online and saw a whole bunch of stands, but they were all really expensive. On Etsy, they range anywhere from $100 to $300 for something similar. So what this entails is 1, a laptop stand from IKEA, 2, a shelf from Home Depot, 3, a padded wrist guard, and 4, a little bit of vinyl wallpaper off of Amazon. Now, this whole project is based on the foundation of this, which is the famous $9 IKEA laptop stand. This puts majority of your gear at the perfect angle. It's a perfect size for a lot of things, and you can just place them right on here. However, I wanted to have that sexy little wrist pad, so we use this as a foundation to start. Now, on top of that laptop stand, we needed a platform custom cut to fit the gear. I headed over to Home Depot, where for about $18 you can get a 12-inch deep by 6-foot long shelf made by Rubbermaid. Now, I happen to have one left over from a recent project, so I went ahead and took that shelf and cut it into 2 25-inch sections. Now, the second piece of wood is going to remain the same length, but it is going to be stripped down to be narrower in order to fit just that padded wrist guard. So using scientific measurement, we measured out how wide this wrist guard is, and borrowing a table saw from a friend, ripped that second piece of wood to specifically fit that padded wrist guard. Now, if you're using this method for other gear, this is a step where you would just customize the length to fit that specific gear, but you would still cut 2 pieces and rip the second one to fit the width of the wrist pad that you now have for that stand. Now, once those 2 pieces of wood are cut, we're going to lay our gear on the first piece to make sure that it fits comfortably, leaving a small space at the bottom to then lay the second thin piece that is there for the wrist guard. Make sure you have enough space so you can apply several screws to securely attach the 2 pieces of wood together. At this point, you can see that we could technically stop here. We could take what we have so far, lay it on top of the IKEA angled stand, put our gear on it, and then simply put the padded wrist guard on there and be ready to go. But just to make it a little bit more sexy, we're gonna grab a $5 roll of fake vinyl wood off of Amazon and just do a really quick vinyl wrap on top of these pieces of wood just to give it a nice little finish. As you can see, I didn't really take my time to make sure all the imperfections were out. There's some wrinkles inside of the vinyl, but you could either paint this unit if you wanted to, or you could just take your time and do the vinyl correctly so it's nice and smooth everywhere. Then, once we have our finish on top of the 2 boards, all we simply have to do is lay this on the angled IKEA stand, put our gear on there, peel the plastic off of the bottom of the mat to make sure that it sticks in place, set it all together, and put it in the studio. So, assuming you have access to the tools it takes to make this project, the total time from start to finish here was about 1 hour to get everything cut, screwed together, vinyl wrapped, start to finish. Total cost was about $60. However, I had a shelf laying around, so that eliminated about $20 out of the total cost. So the most expensive part of this whole project was the padded wrist guard. Now, again, you can use this method to make one of these stands for any piece of gear. The only thing you'd have to do is adjust the length of the wood that you're cutting and find a wrist guard that's as close as possible to the length of that gear. So now that we have a Maschine in the studio, we're probably going to be adding a couple of Maschine tutorials alongside of the MPC tutorials we usually release on this channel. If you enjoy the content, please make sure to like, subscribe, support the channel. Leave a comment down below if you know how to wrap vinyl a little bit better than my execution here, or if you have any other ideas of making stands like this that could help out the community here on the channel, please leave a comment. It'd be greatly appreciated. On that note, thanks for your time, thanks for your attention. Now go make something cool.